Well, now I'm with Inika, who is one of the staff here at Wingspan and a very special friend as well, who we will be talking to very soon. So thank you very much for chatting to us today.
You're welcome, you're welcome.
Now, what is your role here at Wingspan?
Well, officially my role is Raptor PR, but basically that means I do everything from Wingspan admin, meet and greet, and then of course training these awesome guys as well. So the technical term for training is falconer, so a little bit of everything really.
Very cool. Now you guys look after birds of prey here at Wingspan specifically, so how would you define a bird of prey?
Well, there's a few defining features, and the two main ones are probably their feet and their beaks. So birds of prey have these lovely hooked beaks and these lovely big sharp talons as well, and it's all got to do with what they eat, and they catch other birds and other insects, and so they need the right equipment. So sharp talons and big beaks. Yeah.
Very good explanation there. And now we can't ignore our other little friend here any further, so who is this? Can you introduce us to our little friend?
So this little guy here is Frodo. And he hatched at the end of October, so he's only half a year old, but he's a New Zealand moorpork. So these are the guys that you hear at night time, the only owl in the world that can say their own name. But these little guys have a big sound for a little bird, so they're pretty cool.
How much bigger do they get than what Frodo is now?
He's actually fully grown. Within 40 days they're fully feathered and fully grown, so it doesn't take them long to get to this size, but he's exactly 152 grams today, so the feathers make him look much bigger than he actually is.
Yeah, they must be pretty tiny under all those feathers. And now why did you end up calling him Frodo?
Well, for any Lord of the Rings fans, they'll already would have cottoned on to who Frodo is, but he's named after a hobbit because moorporks have a short stature, have big hairy feet, and they like to live in burrows, so that's where that name came from. It seemed fitting.
Yeah, it is completely fitting, and he is so gorgeous. Now can you tell us a few special features of the moorpork?
Yep, I certainly can. Well, I've talked about hairy feet, so these guys have these lovely hairy feet, and they also have lots of whiskers around their eyes and around their beaks, and that's got to do with how tactile they are. So moorporks are nighttime hunters. They come out and catch things off guard, so they need to have a lot of feel about them. They need the whiskers around the face to pick up any changes, and also when they catch their prey they need to be able to know exactly what's going on. They also have these lovely soft feathers, and this helps with silent flight. So soft rounded feathers means that they can swoop from tree to tree without anyone picking up on it.
Wow, really cool. And what kind of sounds do they make as well? Is moorpork the only kind of call that they make?
No, moorpork is definitely the most common one, and that's the one you hear at night time, and it's territorial. So that's basically either the male or the female telling everyone else, this is my spot and don't come too close. But that sound travels a long way, whereas they make some other purrs and some whistles as well. And it depends on if it's a parent feeding a chick or if it's two adults coming together and just saying, hey, I'm here, you want to chill out in the tree with me, and things like that.
Let's hang out and be besties forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Just chilling together. So how threatened are the ruru or moorpork in New Zealand?
Well, the scariest thing is we don't actually know. These guys, the last study was done in the 80s in terms of how many there were, and since then there's been a lot of changes. But just like falcons, just like a lot of our other New Zealand birds, these guys have lots of threats, like cats, like stoats, possums, all those nighttime nasties. Nesting low to the ground in burrows is obviously going to be a big risk, because a lot of our predators that are now introduced are make easy meals out of our moorporks. Some areas there's lots of them left, and other places where there used to be lots of moorporks, they're no longer there. But as far as we know, they're struggling. They're having a hard time.
And so what do these guys usually eat for dinner?
Well, Frodo's favourite food is hoo-hoo beetles. That's his absolute favourite. But in the wild, these guys catch weta, other moths, and they'll go for even small birds if they happen to catch them unawares at night time. But basically anything small. With introduction of rats and mice, of course they've got tasty little rats and mice that they can go after as well.
Yeah, really cool. And how did Frodo actually come to be here?
Well, he had a rough start in life. His parents last year and the year before weren't very good at looking after their chicks, so we didn't give them the opportunity. We took Frodo when he was only an egg and placed him in an artificial incubator. So that does all the hard work for us, turns the egg, keeps it warm, and makes sure that there's the right amount of water in the air, the humidity is right as well. And he's been hand raised, so he's had one-on-one human contact, and he really thinks he's half human, half Moorpork.
I bet.
He doesn't know what he is, to be honest.
Truly thinks he's Frodo the Hobbit, I guess.
Exactly.
Alrighty, well how about we go and check out the incubators and learn a little bit more.